Hey everybody, welcome back to the Frugal Christian channel. It's been a little while. We've had some real life stuff going on. The weather has changed, even though it's minor out here in Florida, it still has changed. And we've had back to school season and the snowbirds coming down. So we have noticed a little bit of a stomach bug / cold symptoms going around. And we got the joy of having some of that fun. And then, of course, you get to do the COVID testing too with that, even though it's not COVID or doesn't have the COVID symptoms. So that took us down a little bit energy-wise. And on that note, before I show you this shopping trip, I'm going to also explain that, as you know, we do the grocery budget. Again, the point of being debt-free or being on a budget and having an emergency fund is that life happens. You're not perfect. You're not a robot. Some people are very militant and they can just always stick to their exact plan perfectly and never deviate. But for us, that's not our real life scenario. So for instance, when we were sick and feeling miserable and just had to stay inside the house or lay low and conserve energy and just feel miserable, when we went grocery shopping or when we got food, we did not spend exactly $100. We did not feel like running around the store or punching in my phone or my calculator every little price or every little item. We also had to get additional items like Gatorade or certain medicines for the cold or the flu type symptoms. And when you feel miserable like that, you really don't care about saving $25. So I'm just saying that to give an example of real life. Real life has some deviations. The point is the majority, the 85 percentile zone is where you're trying to do a consistent, focused goal and stick to it. But you're human. Okay, so just letting you know that, disclosing that so you know I'm not a phony person. Okay, this is a trip to Macy's for this one that I'm going to show you today. The point of this is to show you that not every time that you're frugal or conservative or sticking to your budget means that you have to have hand-me-downs or have old clothes with holes in them or buy everything secondhand or buy everything for $1 each at the dollar store. You can still buy quality things. My husband says there's certain things you don't chintz on, like your shoes, your bed, your glasses. And then same thing with clothes. Sometimes you need to update your wardrobe with things that are staple items or you just want something that's newer. It is okay. Just make sure that you're sticking to your budget. Alright, so I'm going to show you some things for work. So I needed a basic, boring white cardigan. I always have navy ones and black ones, but I need something lighter so it's not always so dark and dreary. It will look like a vampire. So I got one of those. I had waited a while, several months, trying to find one. The one I bought ended up being about $30 after the coupons and everything. I bought 2 trousers for work, which are over here. These are just simple trousers. One is black, one is gray. I have these same exact pants, but in different colors also. And then this is another sweater / cardigan. I wanted some embellishments on it, so it has like this. I'll turn it so you can see better. It has the pearl accent, again, classic ivory white kind of color, but with a little bit of a dress up in it. So again, whether I wear this over a dress or a shirt or as a closed front sweater, there's many looks you can do with it, and it's simple. Got it on clearance. Plus, I had a coupon for 20% off or other discounts depending on what items you had. So that brought my total down to $130.58. So it's 2 pairs of pants, 2 cardigan sweaters, and 2 tank tops. My cheapest frugal deal was this purple tank top, which was $256. $256 is cheaper than even one item at the thrift store. At the Goodwill sort of thrift store, I would say. Okay, what else happened? Another thing that happened was I was in like a fender bender. So again, we weren't feeling our best, and got into a little fender bender at the mall. Hadn't been in an accident for over 10 years. However, life happens. We are human. We are not perfect. And the blessing of that was that maybe that earlier that week I had asked my husband, hey, do I have the current insurance card in my wallet? Because the one looks expired. And so we had updated that, and then, normally you never use it. It just sits there in your wallet somewhere or in your car. And this particular time, thank goodness, because God had prepared it so that we had that updated in our card, it was there when I needed it. Another part about when you get into a car accident, is, to remain calm and everything like that. And then my husband, financially, we're going through the process now of what are the estimated damages? What does the insurance people say versus can you do it for cheaper out of pocket? Because that's still money, whether it's raising your insurance cost or whether it's the deductible or whether it's out of pocket. It's important to try to keep that cost as low as possible, but maintaining your car because it's your everyday transportation. So in this case, my husband is thinking that we can buy a replacement bumper, believe it or not, off the internet. You have it painted the color that you need, or you can have it painted at the local body shop or yourself, and then they are going to put it on themselves and take off the other one with a couple accessory parts like little clips they're going to use to do that. So instead of us paying over $500 on our deductible plus whatever the markup is for the labor and everything, we're going to probably be able to do it for around $300, $350 or so, and not even have to go through our insurance, so it won't ping on my record other than the auto accident. So that's just showing you that there's alternative ways to save money, again, when life does happen. This is separate money from your everyday maintenance on your car that you should be putting aside, like for oil changes or a car battery or windshield wiper fluid, that kind of stuff, windshield wipers themselves as well. And then some people do not have the ability to do this. Their husband is not savvy enough to do this, or maybe they're single, maybe they're elderly. Everyone has to do what's right for their scenario, but if you have that ability, I would challenge you to try to do that. You can look up YouTube videos of how to do it and everything like that. But always look for 2 or 3 alternative ways and pray for God to show you wisdom of what to do in this scenario when you don't know what to do. So again, ask professionals, get different quotes, ask your family members, ask your coworkers who are wise, ask your spouse. There's different options, and allow God to show you that option, whatever is right for you and your household family. And then again, back to the original story with the Dave Ramsey sort of stuff is the emergency fund. It goes back to the emergency fund, and it's so important because life happens. When it's an emergency, it's because it's going to happen. You don't know if the emergency is you getting sick and having the cold. You could have COVID. You could lose your job. That week, we also had to take a day off to go help to watch my son because my in-laws had to go to the doctor because they felt sick, to go get tested and everything. And then the emergency could be a fender bender, just a little minor car accident, or it could be a major car accident that you didn't do anything wrong and it just happened, or you're just having a bad day, who knows. So the point of the emergency fund is when those emergencies do happen, and again, an emergency is not buying a Nintendo or buying a sweater, but when an emergency happens, it's knowing that you have that money in the bank and that peace of mind. So then when you're dealing with emergency, you don't have to stress over how to pay for that, or knowing that you have to put high interest credit card debt on it or something like that. It's knowing that money is there, it's put aside because you spend less than you earn, and then you repay back the money from the emergency fund. So for instance, in this case, I won't be able to buy fun stuff or upgrade certain things because we need to pay back the money for the new bumper and the miscellaneous parts and whatnot. So, and also that little bit extra money that we spent on groceries, we're going to have to pay that back. So that's when I'll have to lay low on those other areas that are variables. I hope that makes sense. What else was I going to say? When I do these little shopping things and I show you these, remember the point is to basically cash fund them. So it's easy to go out and for people to spend tons of money on these things of whatever their hobbies are, whatever their fashion things are that they like. But it's important to do them to pace it and to be able to afford to do it and to be paying off your debt if you have debt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out Dave Ramsey, check out the baby steps, check out Susie Orman. There's different financial advisors out there who are all saying the same thing but in different ways so that you can hear it. Again, check it out on their website, check it out on YouTube's or podcasts. But there's steps to be following so that you're not in debt, and if you are in debt, that you're getting out. There's a methodology to doing it in a way that's effective emotionally and physically and progressively for you to feel like you're making progress to get out and to stay out. So check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. Even if you do know what I'm talking about, check it out because we always need encouragement on it to stay on task, because you have a billion people out there trying to get you to spend money and to buy things you do not need or that are overpriced, or even just to do something in a way that's less efficient. For example, paying off your mortgage in 15 or 30 years is not as efficient as paying it off in 4 years or 8 years. having more money to put in your savings is better too. So when I'm showing you these things, even like clothes being on clearance or whatever, the other reason I'm showing you this, that I choose to do it this way instead of going out to places and buying whatever I want full price, is because, for example, what we do is we are at the point in the baby steps where we're at step 8. So we are putting money into our child's savings fund for college. We're putting money into our life insurance for us to have a plan, so in case either of us die or both of us die, that the other person can take care of our son. And we're doing this intentionally. We're not going out there spending money on these fancy birthday parties or fancy toys or Disney trips or whatever the fill in the blank might be, fishing trips, whatever you and your family like to do. We're purposely making that sacrifice because life happens unscripted. You cannot control everything, and if you don't know that, check out COVID, check out some things that have been happening, and just remind yourself that. So that's why we're planning for those sort of things, so that we can for sure send our kid to college, God willing, or have a plan in case we died or something like that. So check out Dave Ramsey, check out Chris Hogan, check out Susie Orman, and keep on finding ways out there to save money but to still live life. All right, God bless, take care. Until we meet again.